And already, some of the teams have been anxious to get started with Whitelaw, but now we're officially underway. Essentially a Big Ten regular season championship, and we are off to a rickety start. And some pushing and shoving and extracurriculars already underway.
Yeah, Lepster just got shoved into the Badger bench right away, so some early fireworks delivered by Wisconsin.
Goes down into the Michigan State end, where Lev Schnoff tries to push it up for the Spartans, but there's Lodge who intercepted it on the board pass. Michigan State's end, they try and drive it through center ice, but the Badgers come away with it. Cross into the Spartan zone. Cilia going around the net. Shot fired, saved by Augustine. Latch fires and scores! A fast start for Wisconsin. Daniel Lodge gets it going, and the Badgers, just like that, are up 1-0 at the Cole.
Doesn't take long for Wisconsin to get this crowd into it. 47 seconds and a lot shot from the left point that seemed to have eyes. He just flung it on goal and Augustine just didn't see it, and he was able to bring it home, and a 1-0 lead for Wisconsin before you could even settle into your seats at home.
Daniel Lodge from deep, just his second goal of the season. Who would have thought that he would get it going that early, Anthony?
I was going to mention how these teams handled the early going of this game was going to be so important, because you got a jazzed up Kohl Center here. This is the biggest game in this building probably since 2010 began, since the 2010. And they were able to get things going, feed off that crowd early with that goal there by Lodge.
And already off that face-off, player going into the net, that was Stramel. And here comes the Spartans trying to get something, but Dexheimer passing it down low. Badgers keeping it in the Michigan State zone. Little whiff there, and Michigan State corrals it in their possession. And again, a tanglement up in neutral ice. Patrick Geary for Michigan State was in the corner, hit it up. Now it's Mellenbacher and the Badgers. Larson there for the Spartans. There's Savage as well there for Michigan State as they retreat to their own end. In center ice, loose. Wisconsin and Michigan State, a scrap for the puck. And Michigan State takes it in the Wisconsin zone. You can see they really want it here, just getting feisty for the puck, both ends so far. Just over 2 minutes into action. Before fans could even settle into their seats, Daniel Lodge got the scoring opening for Wisconsin. Coming up from that left side in front of the blue line. Whitelaw through the neutral ice, fires, and wide of the net. Maybe caught some iron. Whitelaw finds it again. Trying to make a move, fling it in. Tassi, rebound just out of reach from Fitzgerald.
It's been a while for Tassi since he's been able to get on the score sheet. Surely would have loved to get one there. This is a new look second line for Wisconsin. Whitelaw elevated to join this line.
Whitelaw looking for some help. Down on his knees, but Wisconsin loses it. It goes all the way down to McClellan. Paladichuk. And here comes Cilia and Wisconsin right through center ice, navigating through Spartans. Trying to hand it off. But here comes Michigan State, but again, loose. They haven't been able to get a clean possession really as of yet. Lucius trying to inch it forward. They're in front of the penalty boxes. There's Scholl, and yeah, someone's got to look out. Seems like they're okay.
This is a little bit of unfamiliar territory for Wisconsin and Coach Hastings. get off to a hot start. Keys to the games from Mike Hastings. Hot start. I think they kind of accomplished that with that early goal. And the other thing that he was mentioning is try not to play offense for Michigan State. And by that, he means trying not to turn pucks over, letting them jumpstart the offense. His saying was they already do that well enough, so we shouldn't do it for them.
That one goes right in the net. Two Badgers colliding with Scholl and it's like Stramel. And here comes Spartans firing and off the boards. This one will wrap all the way down back to the Spartans' end. So far, their best look.
Now Russell missed that one pretty badly on the far side. Looked like he might have kind of timed that shot.
And now, Gucciardi firing from the point, trying to get it through some traffic and a collision by the Wisconsin bench as Gucciardi was right there getting pancaked. That one getting fired. Looked like he hit a teammate going in on Savage. Shot came from Sturback. Pour back, but Michigan State. It's it. They're one shot on goal. Wisconsin's 4. Bansel gets away free, finds the puck in the corner. Michigan State's defense trying to pressure him. Blodachuk from up deep, right where Lodge scored. Couldn't find the net. Traffic in front on that one. Now trying to wrap it in and saved by Augustine.
Calm with it right there. Augustine confident in his positioning. He had that post closed off. Just had to cover up the 5-hole. That's your task when you're right there. And the defense took care of the rest, not letting the Badger attacker cut all the way out front that time.
Levshnoff fires, and it goes through McClellan's glove. Tied up. Michigan State ties it at 1. Artem Levshnoff, his 9th goal of the season. And we're in a back-and-forth game early.
You see that shot 100 times in this game. Kyle McClellan probably stops it the other 99 times. That is a really unfortunate goal to give up if you're Wisconsin. Just Levshnoff just letting it fly, just kind of hoping to create something, and he sure did. He created a goal and just went off the glove of McClellan over his head and into the net. Couple of weird ones to start things off so far, but I guess it's all square, back to even, maybe justice served.
Wisconsin looking for an answer already, but yeah, you hit it there. 2 weird goals coming from distance, and again, now Wisconsin opportunity. That one went up into the air, but both shots typically you don't really see find the back of the net.
We mentioned these are 2 of the top goaltenders in the nation. You wouldn't know it off those early 2 goals, but trust us, guys. These are really good goaltenders. Just you can kind of sense the nerves. I mean, neither of these 2 teams have been in this situation before in a long time. A lot of these players unfamiliar, especially with fans in the building like this. Over 10K here at the Kohl Center.
And the Badgers with Dessaint foul. He, of course, once before Wisconsin, been familiar with this team in its recent struggles in prior years. One of the senior leaders. He's very well welcomed this change. And now Wisconsin player loose as Cilia crashes into the corner. He's able to get up okay, finds his stick. And Michigan State trying to protect that crease. That one went out of play. Released off the netting.
It's been a pretty crazy start so far, all things considered. And I was going to mention earlier that Wisconsin hadn't really played with a lead that much against Michigan State this year, not at all. But take a look here at Michigan State and their keys to the game. A couple from head coach Adam Nightingale. Stay out of the penalty box, play smart, fast, and hard. That's the motto for this Michigan State team ever since Nightingale came in the beginning of last season. And that's the motto they've lived by, and that's what's gotten them to where they are, top of the Big Ten right now, and with a chance to end it all here tonight.
Yeah, these 2 coaches, we'll get some more on them later on especially, but you know, they brought in new cultures. Hastings more recently for Wisconsin, Nightingale a couple years ago. You can see the effects it's had on both these squads. Wisconsin last place a season ago, Michigan State second to last. They're coming off the face-off by McClellan's net. Haven't seen too many of those yet into this game. But essentially, coach speak, we're squared off at 0 again. By the way, Levshnoff, the goal scorer, of course, for Michigan State, assisted by Joey Larson and Tiernan Shouty. Levshnoff, familiarity with the Wisconsin area, played for the Green Bay USHL team. Now Wisconsin making a move, shot, saved by Augustine.
It's Owen Mellenbacher for the Badgers trying to make his impact felt. Couple of future Red Wings doing battle right there. Augustine also a draft choice of the Red Wings in the most recent NHL draft.
Mellenbacher. Quite a few Red Wings in this one.
Yeah, you look at these rosters. Red Savage also a future Red Wing for the Spartans.
Gerald getting tangled up behind Michigan State's end. Scholes trying to track it down. Actually more center ice for Vorlicki. Michigan State trying to get the advantage, but the Badgers catch up. Out to the right side, Sturback, shot whiffed on it, and Wisconsin's able to get a stick on. Michigan State gets it back in the Wisconsin end, but Whitelaw finds it and racing up, just firing in, and Augustine will just trap it.
I mean, I'm sure Tassi was thinking, hey, if McClellan gave up one like that, maybe Augustine would too. And Tassi is known to mix it up a little bit with the opponents, kind of a get under your skin type of player. You can kind of see that even on his way back to the bench right there. Little bump with a Spartan as they were on their way off the bench. You think tensions are running high at all in this series, John?
You got familiar foes fighting for something on the line that neither team has really seen in recent memory, or at least more so haven't had it as much. It's been mostly the Minnesota schools of sort that have dominated the Big Ten.
They're going to get a penalty here. It looks like on Wisconsin, I think. Kerr is going to get the gate.
Yeah, indeed. He's already out in the box. Doesn't seem intentional, just got caught up in it. But Wisconsin able to clear it out early on this penalty. Michigan State, 26 of 94 on the season on their power play, second in the conference. That's a 27.7% success rate. In Wisconsin, though, the #1 penalty kill. Opponents are 12 of 108 against them. That's first in the conference. So Michigan State, see what they can do, and a couple players slip up there. In the corner, Howard, goal center, going quiet. Basgal fires and goes left of the net. Vorlicki trying to trip it up, and Fitzgerald gets it off into the neutral zone, and he'll just clear it out as he'll try and circle back to the bench.
It's a little bit of a PK first unit mix-up here for Wisconsin. Fitzgerald and D. St. Phal first off the bench for the Badgers.
Intercepted by Wisconsin. They're short a man. Celia looking for the pass, and that puck goes flying into the net.
A couple of Minnesota State transfers right there coming over with Mike Hastings. Had a look there at a solid 2-on-1 opportunity, but in that deep, you'd like to see Celia shoot that puck, and the defense had it read pretty well and was just unable to get that pass through. And as a result, they didn't even get a shot out of it, which obviously is a little bit disappointing if you're a Badger.
Badgers 2 shorthanded goals on the season. Opponents against Michigan State have 2 shorthanded goals as well. Down in the corner, trio of Badgers, 2 Spartans. Took a Spartan trying to join the party in Jeremy Davidson. Collision there, now the puck goes screaming onto the other side along the boards. Celia trying to find that puck.
Penalty.
You got it, there is a delayed penalty. With 7 seconds left on the Michigan State penalty.
Yeah, this is going to go on the Spartans for a hook. Cilia was trying to go and battle in that corner over there. You can see it right there. I mean, Larson just has his stick caught up in the upper midsection of David Cilia and was impeding him from being able to go after that puck, and that was the call right there. And as a result, we get 6 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey, and then Wisconsin will head to the power play.
So this 4-on-4 won't last long. Basically trading penalties here at the conclusion of the first one on Anthony Kerr. Anthony Kerr waiting in that box, but so they're going to their first break. We'll head to a break here as well on Big Ten Plus. Don't go anywhere.
From 1981 till 2020, one of our most loyal supporters, B1G, and defeating our new Encore champ at every magic goal. Since the start of the end of the 2019-20 season, Bill has not been back to the goal center. But that ends tonight. Badger fans, let's give a warm welcome back to Badger.
Welcome back inside the Kohl Center. Tied up game. Early goals traded off, and now penalties traded off. Anthony Kerr getting ready to exit the penalty box with a few seconds left, and now entering the penalty box for Michigan State is Joey Larson. 2 minutes for hooking. So we'll have 6 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey with a face-off upcoming by Trey Augustine's net, his right side to be exact. And then it'll be Wisconsin's first man advantage of the night.
Yeah, Wisconsin already basically having that top power play group out there in preparation. D. St. Phal, Cilia, Lucius, Dexheimer. And then I believe Carson Bantle will jump out for the Badgers once Kerr is free.
D. St. Phal going to the other side on the pass. Lucius makes a move. Shot fired. Glove save.
That was a great move there by Cruz Lucius. Just that little toe drag and whoop, see ya. And just dragging to the inside, but a good save there by Trey Augustine, flashing the leather there on Wisconsin's leading goal scorer, Cruz Lucius.
Lucius, 12 goals on the season, just got to 30 points in the series last weekend against Penn State. Dexheimer, the pass down low, looking for Lucius now across the ice. From Michigan State, here they come, Red Savage. Savage across the blue line. A couple Badgers waiting for him. De St. Phal on their power play. And so Bantle trying to now pass back, shot, and now out to De St. Phal. Wisconsin now on the power play. Now going down low, looking for a deflection. Dexheimer, and he'll have to go back to retrieve it in his own end. But Wisconsin's power play just shown there. 19.1% success rate. Just 6 in the conference for 7 teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah, power play has been an area of concern for Wisconsin, and something else to keep in mind. We get a chance here.
Finley shot and saved into the chest of Augustine.
It's a good look there by Finley, a guy that head coach Mike Hastings has been trying to get going. Once he was a participant in the World Junior Championships for Team USA, and when he came back from that, looked like he could be a dominant force that could carry this offense, but ever since then, kind of slowed down a little bit. But Hastings has been really trying to tell him, hey, sometimes you got to be the right ways to score, and that's something that's been lacking in his game lately.
Fitzgerald shot, and back to him. Speaking of Finley, had that hat trick in his return after taking that trip. Fitzgerald at the point, or Palatichuk that is. Whitelaw on the other side. There's Tassi behind net. Back out to Palatichuk. Wisconsin with under half a minute left on this power play. Fitzgerald, shot, and off the backside of Gucciardi.
Gucciardi just eats pucks. He has a bunch of block shots this year for the Spartans.
Looking for Tassie's help, now loose in front of the crease. Augustine locates it.
A lot of extracurricular activities down there. That is a lot of cross checks being delivered right there by Sturbeck.
And Tassie, it seems. That's a penalty kill now for both sides as Joey Larson enters back onto the ice. These penalty kills, these defenses staying strong early on after the 2 early goals that were traded off in some weird fashion to begin this one.
Yeah, everything from in tight has been stopped by these goaltenders, but the shots from far away, like that one right there, have been giving them trouble a little bit.
And Colin easily covers that one. Again, Daniel Latch opened it up for Wisconsin. And then it was Artem Levshnov get it going for Michigan State.
Yeah, what a find for Michigan State. Levshnov from Belarus came over though, played juniors in the United States last year, member of Green Bay, a little bit north of here. But he is a hot commodity in the upcoming NHL draft. He'll be taken in the top 3, probably, the number 2 ranked North American skater. And there he is with a shot right there. And you'll see why. He's just a big 6'2" defenseman, smooth skater, can move the puck well, and he really does have top pair potential at the next level. And he'll make a team next year extremely lucky to draft him.
Sterling got that youth, 3rd youngest in college hockey this year. Of course, Michigan State, one of the youngest teams as well, 5th youngest in the country. On the faceoff, Dave St. Fowl comes away with it. All the way down, Michigan State's zone. Lucius was trying to sprawl for the puck. And collision down in the corner. Scholes going up with Manisto. Lucius, Orlicki, and that one goes flying behind Augustine's net. So what the Spartans could do here with the puck, Shouty taking it up. Has Kelly to his left, but now down in the corner. Dexheimer for the Badgers, looking to poke it away. Across the ice, Geary. And now it goes on the other side, down low. High into there, a pop-up. Falls into neutral ice. Scholl. And still loose. Both teams looking to get a firm grasp with under 6 to go in this opening period. Stramel finds Lash. No, shot. And now another opportunity with Bantle in the area.
Mellenbacher just whiffed on that. He had a chance right in between the circles. It was a good find there by Stramel.
Mellenbacher getting on the action there again. Just whiffed on the recent shot. Bantle was with him. Geary for Michigan State of getting that puck back. Now coming the way, Daniel Russell. But taken away, Wisconsin making a shot. And now it's Augustine able to cover it up. Wisconsin's Horback applying the pressure.
Now welcome sight back into the lineup for Wisconsin. Jack Horbach is back after missing the last week with injury. But just a really nice takeaway right there. An excellent stick to knock that away from Russell. And then he tried that move, trying to get it to the far side, but Augustine able to get there. I mean, Horbach, I don't know if you saw it, John, the injury that he suffered just got absolutely annihilated by Scooter Brickey of Ohio State.
You can laugh about it now. And he's back out there, healthy and in on the action. But, Horbach, of course, missed. We're mentioning high energy, one of the better penalty killers on the Wisconsin side, and Augustine has to cover it again.
Yeah, a lot of those guys for the Badgers have been kind of in and out of the lineup lately. Owen Lindmark has missed the last few weeks for the Badgers, and obviously he's not in the lineup this weekend either. He's been enjoying one of the best seasons of his Badger career, and he does everything for Wisconsin. Horbach's been in and out of the lineup. Anthony Kerr has missed some time as well. So a lot of these players that are so instrumental to what Wisconsin does and their identity have been in and out of the lineup, but mostly healthy here today.
Shot on the spinner, and it goes on top of the net, and it just stays there. weird stuff we're seeing early on in this first period, Anthony.
Oh boy, you can see what Wisconsin was trying to do there, and it almost worked. I think they actually did get that puck knocked off the top of the net, and Augustine almost put it back in himself. We're gonna get a look at it here. Whitelaw's just gonna turn around and send it towards the goal. It's gonna go on top of the goal. Fitzgerald's trying to bat it up. He did, and Augustine was just unable to, or just able to get that back in just in time.
Whitelaw fires. Say that's the equivalent of what a wedgie is in basketball, where he gets stuck up there in the rim.
I guess so, yeah.
It's the best way I can think of it now, right now.
That is a pretty good analogy when you think about it. And you know, Fitzgerald almost got that to work. Ooh, Badgers got away with one there, I think.
Yeah, there's a pile up right before the blue line. Whistle, though, is for offsides. Let's look at that recent effort by Wisconsin. The overhead. Look at that, going off the back of Augustine, as Anthony mentioned on the prior replay.
You see, you know, if that's the instinct of the goaltender. If you feel that kind of happening, you want to get pressed up against the back post there. And that's exactly why. Because you don't want that to go in off your back, and the puck goes up in the air.
He's got eyes in the back of his head. Glove save, Augustine.
Ever since that early goal, Trey Augustine has been pretty dialed in today. I don't even think he saw that first shot, so you can't really blame him for that one. But Wisconsin's been firing pucks on him all game. 17 shots on goal for the Badgers, and just the one to show for it so far.
Faceoff goes out of the zone for Wisconsin. Dexheimer. Intercepted there. Manisto slips up. Boladichuk and the Badgers evading an opportunity there by Michigan State.
That's exactly what Mike Hastings means when he says don't play offense for the Spartans.
Just call for an offside.
And turnovers like that are just killer, and not every single one of those is going to end up with a player wiping out as he tries to shoot the puck and completely missing it.
But you were talking about that Lodge goal. Yeah, wondering if you're Augustine. Wisconsin's typically not a team that comes out firing that early. And they, especially in the scoring column at least. And that one coming from distance. And then even on the other end with McClellan and Levshnoff. One of those shots that typically you just see gets casually saved. Finley on the point. Scholl takes the shot and saved by Augustine. Finley and Geary going back and forth there in the corner, and now the puck's on them. Scholl wraps around all the way on the boards to the other side of the Wisconsin or the Michigan State end, and Michigan State still not able to move it up as Geary gets tied up with Mellenbacher. Puck, and McClellan has to cover it as Daniel Russell was on a 1-on-2. Take a look at the series history between these squads, and Michigan State has been quite dominant as of late.
Yeah, including most notably sweeping the Badgers the last time that these two teams met. The Badgers earning the #1 ranking with that, but Michigan State dismissing them twice in a row. And for the Spartans, that sweep over the Badgers, their first sweep against the #1 team since 1974. So that was a long time coming for the Spartans, and I think that series really announced their arrival on the national stage.
Yeah, Wisconsin getting up to 1 early on in the season. That went hard off the boards. Michigan State, on the other hand, they've been as high as 4, which was last week until they split against Ohio State. Interesting enough that Ohio State had just 1 victory before they played Wisconsin a couple weeks ago, and then they had 3 straight against the top 2 teams in the conference, really disrupting the landscape of who might be the Big Ten champion.
And they won 3 or 4 of those too. There's so many what-ifs with those games for both of these teams.
O'Connell comes racing down for Michigan State. with Joey Larson. One of the top lines for the Spartans, 81 points. That one just off the glass. Here right in front of the Wisconsin bench. Goes out to Plotachuk. 2 minutes to go in the first period.
He's got to get out of the way.
And here coming is Lebster. Lebster making the pass, shot, score! One-timer, Jeremy Davidson.
It's a library quiet in this Cole Center right now.
Michigan State in the lead, looking to save this on until the conclusion of the first period. They're in the driver's seat. And Michigan State, 3 points, are winning regulation, outright champions for the first time in Big Ten, in the Big Ten for them. If they get that win in regulation, a win in overtime, will clinch them a share. And now out ahead, it's theirs to lose. And a little push in the back. That's going to be a penalty on Michigan State. So Wisconsin's going to go on the man advantage. It's going to be on Tanner Kelly. Or no, he was hiding in the box. He had the wrong man. Right now it's Tiernan Shouty heading to the box. And they're going to review it. It was on the other side with Tanner Kelly.
Well, there's also
Finley. So maybe that's why he had to
he was ready to go to the box for that. Oh, that's funny. He didn't get caught, but it was on the other side. Oh, that's funny.
He was volunteering himself. But yeah, they are reviewing Tiernan Shouty on the other side of the ice. Yeah, Kelly may have gotten away with one there on Finley. And now you can see it here on your own screens. Stramel with Shouty right behind, and Stramel hitting the ground.
Yeah, that's, you see numbers. There's a cross check. That's boarding territory. I could see this getting elevated to a 5-minute major personally, but I mean, Stramel, that's a little bit on the edge of boarding territory. I mean, he kind of hit the ice before he went into the wall, so not exactly as dangerous as that could have been, but still a penalty that you really can't take if you're Michigan State. And remember what one of Nightingale's keys to the game was, and staying out of the box, keeping it at 5-on-5 where he thinks his team has the advantage. Get another look here at the hit thrown by Davidson. To me, I think that's tough to elevate to a 5, especially with some of the stuff that I've seen stick with a minor in the Big Ten lately. So if I had to venture a guess here, I would say that this is just going to be a 2-minute penalty for cross-checking. But admittedly, my track record isn't the best.
We'll see if you are indeed correct, and they're about to announce and make the call. Officials come out of the box. So cross-checking, 2 minutes on Tiernan Shouty. But either way, Wisconsin on the advantage, especially here in the last 40 seconds of the opening period. And this will be huge because Michigan State is 15-0-1 if they're leading after the first period. So Wisconsin, see if you can trying to channel and change that history. At least that resume of Michigan State. And here a shot coming in from Lucius, trying to go back with Dave St. Fallon Bantle by his side. And a successful clear out for the Spartans.
Good luck.
Either way, this will carry out into the second period if no success here for the Badgers. Lucius getting one last effort here, perhaps. Out to the point. Dexheimer fire it in. Hard off the board. 7 seconds left. Another shot. And it's going to go 3 seconds. Perhaps one last more. And going across the ice. Could not get the shot in with Cilia. And that's going to conclude the opening period in this one. Michigan State out ahead 2-1.
now and having a bunch of success with his alma mater.
Of course, Wisconsin, they enter this period on the power play still. So 1:21 to go on it. Their second advantage of the night. Carrying it over from the first period, Wisconsin. About a minute left to tie it up with the 5-on-4. Lucius coming down, shot it. And now loose with Cilia. It goes back, looking for the rebound. Bantle. Bantle locates it, but not soon enough. And now on the boards, looking for Lucius. Day St. Foul tied up with Basgal. And it goes out to the other side with Day St. Foul still. Dexheimer trying to glove it down, keep it in front of the blue line. 3/4 of a minute left on the power play. And it goes into the neutral zone. Wisconsin has to regather. And Michigan State is able to push it down, kill some time with half a minute left.
That was a good setup early on there from Wisconsin, but the puck retrieval at the end of it, not the best. And a lot of time was killed between the clearance and then, of course, when the puck was tied up right at the blue line for a lot of time there.
Tassie Whitelaw and looking for Finley, but that goes up and high into the air.
A couple of souvenir pucks so far today in this game. And
let's look at head coach, first-year head coach Mike Hastings for the Wisconsin Badgers, Anthony.
Yeah, what a job that he has done. I don't think it can be overstated enough. I mean, yeah, he's had success everywhere. I mean, he turned Minnesota State around in a similar fashion in his first season there as well. But even then, not a lot of people could fathom that this would even be possible, the kind of turnaround that Wisconsin has enjoyed this year. But alas, here we are with Wisconsin having a chance to maybe win the Big Ten for only the second time in its existence under their new head coach.
Tiernan Chowdy, the penalty concludes. Another penalty kill for Michigan State. Now they're on the attack, back on the 5-on-5, but now Wisconsin transitioning. Fitzgerald to Whitelaw, coming in, starting off from Tassie. Now Fitzgerald looking, and Augustine thought about covering it, but it got by him. Spartans, they got 3-on-2, now loose in front, and they couldn't finish it off. Carson Dorwart.
A great look there from Michigan State, and a great pass to set it up, but McClellan a little bit fortunate to see that puck go wide. It looked like he was a little bit out of position there.
Now entering Wisconsin zone, Savage, but Wisconsin able to get it with Scholl. He has Finley out there, who goes now behind Augustine's net. Cross to the other side, Levshnov, and Savage retreats. Wisconsin poking it. Now out, Schramel. Goes back to Vorlicki. Vorlicki, the captain, across the ice. Now a shot coming in from deep. Side of the net, Augustine covers.
Yeah, the shot really was not dangerous at all, but that was more of a shot pass off the boards. There you get another look at this chance from Michigan State. Just flipped wide there. Really close from Dewart, the center. And then now this chance that this isn't a shot supposed to be on goal. That is meant to create traffic out front, be a shot off the end boards, and then have that puck come free off that end wall and into the slot, into the danger area. But Augustine aware and covered it up.
Vorlicki kept it right on, shoots, and saved on the pads of Augustine. Looks like some sticks tangled up in front of Augustine.
A nice job there by Augustine to be able to track that puck through bodies. That's what Vorlicki was waiting for. He knows that in all likelihood he can't beat Augustine with a shot from there, so just waiting for that traffic to get out front there and set that screen, make it a little bit tough on Augustine to see it, but he seemed to track it just fine.
Augustine, 21 saves tonight, entered one shy of 900 on the season. Now this one goes up high. Back Horback, shot Bantle into the netting, quite a few of those.
And the way that Wisconsin has been playing in the offensive zone, it does feel like they're due for a goal, just maybe even just one of the weird ones like we saw at the beginning of the game, because they're doing a really good job. And this is something that Wisconsin kind of struggles with at times, of getting bodies out front and, you know, making things tough on the goaltender. But so far today on Trey Augustine, they've been doing just that. Just have been a little bit unfortunate with a bounce here or there, and, you know, the puck just hasn't been bouncing in the way that they would like. And Augustine, in other words, too, has been pretty good as well.
See on your screen, fans leaving some rally towels. That was the giveaway tonight. Fan appreciation at the Kohl Center. Towel that shows the venues they've played at. They St. Foul going. On the other side now to Latch. He was trying to spin around that pass. Lucius us against the board. Celia. So on the right circle. Lucius behind net, trying to go back. Day St. Foul gets kicked back out. Latch. He's up with Kelly. Now Day St. Foul. Now in for Lucius in the slot. Gonna get the shot. Latch. Day St. Foul keeps it on the blue line. Nice job. But it'll be Gucciardi to get it down low for Michigan State. Wisconsin now gets it back. Opportunity. And trying to get the pressure on. No goal.
Celia tried to pass that at first, and then it went off his skate, came right back to him, and he had a gaping wide open cage on the near side. If he was able to get a stick on that one, and he just whiffed.
You're saying those opportunities Wisconsin needs. Get one of those true goals. Llewellyn set it up for Dexheimer. Wisconsin, though, dominant, of course, the shots on goal, as you can see in the stat column. With the 2-1 answered from the Spartans. Puck tied up, neutral ice. Michigan State gets it. Storwart trying to glove it. Palatichuk. Or back. Neutral zone for Nienhaus. The captain, and now Day St. Foul slips up. Mellenbacher trying to locate it. Neutral ice for Howard. And we'll have an icing. Just under 15 minutes left in the middle period.
That's a kind of a tough break on the icing for the Spartans right there. That puck kind of was trickling through some bodies as it went all the way down. Sometimes you'll see that one get waved off, but Michigan State not too fortunate with that. Gonna have to tussle with the defensive zone faceoff right here.
Still a scrap for the puck. And that one just gets fired in on Augustine. They'll do it again.
Wisconsin will take that reset. Michigan State's going to change, though.
So, yep, they pushed it back into the neutral zone by Michigan State's zone. Borlicki just pass it, wraps it around the boards. Whitelaw. Now Fitzgerald for Wisconsin. Back to Whitelaw. No clear possession yet. Now it is for Michigan State, but flinging in the neutral zone, trying to come down. O'Connell. Borlicki goes down onto the ice. Fitzgerald. And Tassi, Wisconsin's defense with Scholes. That one flung wide of the net, looking for Savage. Savage has it. Out to the top. To the arch, and then out back, and that one ricocheted off the boards.
That was close. No,
yeah.
that was a deflection coming in there, and it was a great one from Red Savage. And I mean, that had a chance. Take a look here. Geary right in there and getting a stick on that Savage, and step over and out of play.
Savage got the stick on in the pass, and just a bit too elevated there.
Savage, 21 in green for Michigan State. I feel like that has to be on purpose, right?
Yeah, I mean, coincidence, pretty fitting. And now that one wide of the net. McClellan looking to cover it up. But sure, he has a draft pick from the Detroit Red Wings. See what they might want to do in branding that name.
Yeah, and comes from a pretty big hockey family as well. Started at Miami of Ohio. His father, Brian, played 644 games in the National Hockey League. Got a chance to play with his brother for a couple of years as well, brother Ryan.
And he leads the offenseman on Michigan State with the plus-minus of 12, plus 12. So the team leader is Levshnoff with 24. Watch. And St. Foul gets twisted up. Clean play. Celia, neutral zone. Lucius trying to go in on Sturback. St. Foul takes it in the Michigan State zone. Lucius has and can't get the clean shot in. The top latch as the only lone goal for Wisconsin. That one coming in, but Gucciardi easy to get in front of it. Wrapped around the boards. Michigan State trying to get it out of their own zone. Scholl, and now it's Buda with Schrammel, and now back to Scholl in the Spartan end. Finley, Palatichuk at top on the far side. Schrammel. And now it's Dexheimer looking for help. Finley, the deflection up into the air and out of play.
One on each end now with a deflection that rising just a bit too high off of. So that was a really tough break for Michigan State. Came back the next day and got the win, but as a result, they're going to need to get a couple of good games this weekend if they're going to want to win this conference because of that loss to the Spartan, or the Buckeyes, that is.
Now closing in, loose in the slot, and coming back, Horback. Mellenbacher with Horback. Creating some space for Licky. Shot, and into the corner. Wrapped around the Scholes. Horback with Bantle. Bantle got tangled up. Yeah, Ohio State, we mentioned earlier, playing spoiler to both these squads. Ohio State against Wisconsin was 2 weeks ago. And for Michigan State, that was last week.
Yeah, Ohio State actually sweeping the Badgers in Columbus. It was a pair of really tough losses for Wisconsin.
Whitelaw is out in front. Michigan State catches up for Licky, looking for the pass, but behind. Off the back skate. And now Michigan State comes racing the other way. It was Tassi on the pass. He was the intended target.
Yeah, that hit two Badger skates, actually. It doesn't get more unlucky than that. But, yeah, Whitelaw, I mean, he had a chance to shoot that puck himself if he wanted to. Elected to go for the back pass. And there was a chance there, a look, but sometimes you want to see your shooters just shoot the puck, and Whitelaw can absolutely do that for Wisconsin.
Denny Kerr. Celia, Whitelaw. Whitelaw takes it across the blue line, looking for St. Foul. St. Foul finds it. That one pinballing in the slot of Michigan State. Dexheimer retrieves deep in his own end. So 11 to go in the second period. St. Foul across ice to Lodge. Wisconsin with Lodge the lone scorer. Looking to tie it up, and yeah. Coming in from a weird spot on the ice. Called nevertheless.
Didn't really look like that was.
Mentioning the watch, Wisconsin's lone goal, that occurred with 19:13 to go in the first period. And since, despite having 24 shots on goal, it's the one so far.
Yeah, that goal just the second of the season as well for Daniel Lotch, but obviously Michigan State, couple of nice responses. Heavy hit delivered there by the Spartans.
Looks like it's St. Foul, slow to get up. He's going to head over to the bench. Cole Center not liking that new call. Play goes on. Now making a move in front. And the puck could not find the back of the net. Stramel crashing down. Pair of Badgers. Michigan State transitions. Offense shot. Nienhaus wide and high. Finley for Wisconsin looking to come alive with Scholl. And he's surrounded by 4 Spartans. Scholl will go back to retrieve neutral ice for Licky, and now back down to Nienhaus. Finley getting it out, trying to keep it for the offense as Finley goes to the bench. And nice pass to Savage, but that will be called. Take it all the way back.
Yeah, just a little bit over anxious there on the zone entry, and Savage a little bit offside there.
Came after a review. Dexheimer and the Badgers looking to even it up on the 5-on-4 advantage as Lucius took a swing at it and could not find the puck.
Yeah, I know spring training is getting underway, but I don't know if I would recommend trying to take that shot, whacking that out of the air.
Dexheimer nearly losing it with Savage on Michigan State, trying to poke it away. Shouty near the bench of Michigan State, and Lucius on the receiving end, trying to go on the attack, has St. Foul with him. Celia is waiting at the point around the Big Ten logo. Scrap for the puck in front of the fans on the near side, and coming out of it, Levshnoff. Levshnoff had it, and now back to Dexheimer in his own end.
Really disjointed opening shift there for the top unit for the Badgers, and they've really struggled on the power play this year. It's been the one area I'd say that if Wisconsin could try to improve, it would be that. And they just can't even get into the zone at this point right now.
Wladachuk surveying.
Fans are getting restless here.
Yeah, it was bumping at the start of the 5 minutes. Now a minute and a half into it, and it's kind of quieted down here. Much like the recent or the 2 unanswered goals in Michigan State that have quieted down the crowd.
The aggressiveness, though, of this penalty kill for Michigan State. All 4 Spartans on this side of the ice.
Now a shot coming in, loose, Augustine covers. So there's this shot coming in on by Wisconsin. Haven't been many of those so far on this 5-minute power play.
Well, you have to respect the aggressiveness of this penalty kill approach from Michigan State, but if you're just even a little bit late to getting to the far side like Levshnoff was right there, then that stuff can happen where you have a guy wide open on the far side and a chance to take a free shot at the goaltender with a screen out there perhaps.
Dexheimer, St. Foul. Dexheimer near the point and score! Matthew St. Foul deflects it in. The score is tied up thanks to the senior.
Mike Hastings calls him the heart and soul of this Wisconsin team, and there you see just the moving screen right there, and was able to get a deflection on it. And there's the tying goal right there for the Badgers.
Now Mellenbacher in front. Watch. Gets it off the rebound. Mellenbacher shoots and blocked. Horvath locates it. 3:50 to go in the second period. Horvath in the corner. Mellenbacher on the boards in Michigan State trying to transition it. But back into their own end. And again, a little feisty there near Augustine's net. O'Connell helps Michigan State get it into the Wisconsin zone. O'Connell has it, trying to get it into the slot. Saved by McClellan. Covered up by McClellan.
It's a good look there from the Spartans, and you got O'Connell cutting out front, one of the most dangerous threats on this team, and you know he's tied for the the team lead. They're actually second on the team with 14 goals, but penciled in on that third line, and that's kind of just a testament to the depth on this Michigan State team, creating a nice chance right there. McClellan able to shut the door though. Seems to have settled in okay since allowing that weird one off of his glove.
For Licky, Scholes, forecheck, coming in for Michigan State. And pass off the board. Stays with Michigan State in the Wisconsin end. Turnaround shot blocked by the Wisconsin defenders. Now, nice move to Whitelaw. And now he slips as Wisconsin, Christian Fitzgerald, and quite the deke.
I feel like he gets kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit when you think about the Badgers, but he's kind of sneakily been one of their more valuable forwards this year.
Palatichuk shot and easily corralled by Augustine.
You see the Badgers, Palatichuk right there as a freshman, one of the more valuable defensemen on this Wisconsin team. And you know, in his preseason media availability, Mike Hastings kind of signaled the blue line as a potential point of concern. But thanks to emergences by guys like Ben Dexheimer and Joe Palatichuk, especially as a freshman, it's kind of been one of the strengths of this Wisconsin team.
And Dexheimer wraps it along the boards, up on the glass. Finley locates it, 19 versus 19. Mueller there for Michigan State with Finley of Wisconsin. Mueller wins the 19 battle into the neutral zone. And Michigan State players
that's
down.
Actually, you have 3 Michigan State players on the ice there, but that is a break for the Spartans that offside call got called, because otherwise, if that was going the other way, Wisconsin would have had a 3-on-1 rush potentially. So that is, may not look like it, but that is a break for the Spartans right there.
You see what you mean. You saw at least 2 of them down on 2 ends of the ice.
And the other thing, too, is I think Michigan State might have gotten away with a bit of a cross-check down there in that battle. They've been called for that same exact thing twice and delivered another one to the back of Finley. That one goes uncalled, though.
Howard, and now off the back behind McClellan's net. Day St. foul with Lotch. Lotch, Anthony Kerr served sometime in the box earlier in this game. And Lucius now has it neutral zone, gives it to Day St. foul. Day St. foul with Lucius to his left, and Augustine covers as Lucius approaches.
Physicality starting to pick up a little bit in this game. A lot of hits being delivered, and I mean, these two teams understand the gravity of what's at stake. It's quite a bit when you think about it. Not even just for the Big Ten, but these two teams are really close to each other in the pairwise rankings as well, separated by, I think, 0.3 points in the main determining factor of NCAA tournament seeding. And it's significant, too, because it's the difference between a 1 and a 2 seed right now. Wisconsin tied for 3rd in the pairwise rankings with North Dakota, and Michigan State lagging not very far behind at all at number 5.
O'Connell's pass near the point. Nice pass from Larson. Shot in. McClellan save. We're talking about the pairwise and ranking ramifications. So even if Michigan State wins tonight, let's say they clinch outright with a regulation victory, tomorrow's game, despite having not much at stake for the Big Ten, still ramifications for the NCAA.
Absolutely, and it's games that, you know, you have to remind yourself, yeah, even if you do have nothing to play for tomorrow, that, you know, the bigger picture also matters. And yeah, these teams would love a Big Ten title, but these two teams also have their eyes set on, you know, the bigger prize, and that is the Frozen Four trophy that will be awarded in St. Paul in about a month here.
Taking it from the neutral zone, Fitzgerald shot off the chest of Augustine. Now pass near the slot. And now Wisconsin has to retreat. Michigan State rushing up. It's under 20 seconds to go in the second period. And now back out. Wisconsin, 10 seconds left. Tied at 2 in the second period. Deuces wild. Wisconsin, and they will get called off there with 5.5 left in the second period. Face off, neutral ice. Clock ticking, last effort. McClellan covers. So we have a game tied at 2. Coming in on that 5-minute major called on Michigan State with Sturbach in the box. So here we are, John Green alongside Anthony Winker on Big Ten Plus. Final period of regulation on this Friday night between the top 2 teams in the conference. Big Ten regular season championship on the line. Michigan State coming the other way. Jeremy Davidson, who had a goal earlier, looking across the ice for Lebster. Trying to reverse of what they had in the first period, where Lebster had the assist and Davidson got the one-timer to score.
Yeah, I was going to say, same exact thing, just trying to return the favor there.
Now a slap shot, one-timer, and now a glove save. McClellan maybe would have gone past the net on his left side, but corrals in the glove either way.
Well, Nienhaus, the shot right there for the Spartans on McClellan. And it's kind of been touch and go for McClellan today. He hasn't really had to do that much, all things considered. There's 15 shots faced through 40 minutes and a little bit of change.
Latch will open up the scoring. Passes up, now in neutral ice. Basgill for Michigan State. Going across the ice to Daniel Russell. Goes all the way down to Michigan State's far end. Augustine tried to pass it out. Now in the corner, Daysane foul, not letting it get by. Other side, Latch, where he scored from, and saved by Augustine.
It's not a harder save than Augustine made it look, because you have a couple of sticks flying, bodies there, and kind of waving out in front of you, and you have to be ready as a goaltender for a potential deflection in that situation, and Trey Augustine is able to make the save right there.
And you got to think that's what happened on the first goal in the opening minute from the same spot 2 periods ago, coming in from the same player. There's some traffic in front, no deflections, got the goal himself. That time, Augustine finds it. Final period, Wisconsin going towards their student section, which is on the left side of your screen. Scholl for Anthony Kerr going back, and now behind goal, Savage with Finley along him. Latch backing up, tied up with Larson. Michigan State near the point, but lost it there. Larson tries to kick it forward. Stramel to his side. There's Kerr. Served some time in the penalty box earlier. There's Scholl. Scholl back with Stramel, and Kerr goes back with O'Connell. O'Connell, nice move, Deke. Wisconsin on guard there. Savage's shot, not clean. Didn't get all of it. He lost his skate there a bit. But here's O'Connell trying to make a dive. He takes a shot himself. McClellan saved. Scholes. And the Badgers throwing it out on the clear. And it'll be an icing called on Wisconsin.
And it was the same exact way that we started. So Wisconsin and Michigan State, the last two to lock in. So most of that bracket is set.
Savage, Levshnoff. Yeah, the first goal for Michigan State. O'Connell trying to pass it. No one home in the slot. Looked like he was looking for Joey Larson, but he was a bit more in front of the crease. Levshnoff had it in his own end. O'Connell. And now across the ice looking to get a shot in, but it was Jeremy Davidson not getting that one off clean. Kind of chipped it. Would have been a divot if there was some grass. Whitelaw back to Michigan State. Looking for the spin. Mueller. Nobody home. Going away. Webster. Now shot. Ripped off the board. Wisconsin trying to shovel it up. That one had some air. McClellan just snapped it down with his stick. Here in the neutral zone. Wisconsin now turning back. Michigan State trying to get him off guard. That shot well guarded. Webster's shot. No good. Now McClellan now loose in the slot as Fitzgerald corrals it. That one took a funny hop.
No, it was not great rebound control at all there by McClellan.
Tassie winding up. Off the mark. Tassie behind net. There's Sturback. Neutral zone, Cilia locating it under 16 minutes to go in the final period of regulation. Scholes in the corner has Dorwart on his back. Avoids the penalty. They saying foul. Takes it through center ice. Says Lucius to his left. Lucius trying to pass it to the right with Cilia. Just not exactly on target. Try to lead him, and now another shot ripped on the spin around. Lucius looking to get on the scoring. Has an assist on the first goal. They say foul. Takes a rip. Saved again by Augustine. Lucius in the corner. Pass. Here's Scholl. Taking another one. Augustine covers it up. And a break here for the Michigan State defense.
Yeah, they were caught out there for a long time. That line of Russell, Dorwart, and Howard was stuck out there for plenty of time, and big pressure by the Badgers. St. Foul with a big shot from the point, but Michigan State able to fend it off, get the change, and keep this a tied game.
Chuck there by the left wing. He takes a rip wide of the mark, looking for maybe a deflection from Stramel. Stramel now keeps it in front of the blue line, but back into the neutral zone. Come the Spartans. Shouty in the corner. There's Kelly. Stramel pries it away. With 15 to go in the third. Palatichuk spinning around. Here's Scholes. Boots it up. Finley to his left. Augustine keeps it. And chippy.
Oh, Scholl just got a penalty for that, though. And he's the only one.
Not happy. It's going to be Sawyer Scholl.
Well, his former high school, Notre Dame Academy, got a win in the WIAA Boys State Tournament today, but as for Scholl himself, a snow spraying stop and gonna get tagged with that penalty for a hit up high there on Kelly, who maybe sold it a little bit, but I mean, it's one that's avoidable there if you're Sawyer Scholl.
2 minutes for roughing is the official call. So here's Michigan State on the first man advantage for either team in the third period. Michigan State is 0 for 2 on their power play, beginning including this one. Looking to go 1 for 2. Pass to the left, they narrow it down the gap. McClellan snags it.
Dorwart with a good look right there from the left circle and likes those shots, and it's been very good this year for the Spartans 13 goals, and wanted number 14 right there, was able to wheel that one into his forehand side, get a good shot off.
Trying to wind it up, but couldn't find it clean. Howard was looking for the one-timer. Pass out to the left. Dorwart trying to get by Fitzgerald. Taking a rip now from the top, Asgel. Howard across again, Dorwart. Howard back out to the top. Howard again, right circle, takes a shot, blocked. And Wisconsin trying to clear, and it gets into the neutral zone. They kill some time. Basgel take it back into Wisconsin's territory. And back out, and that will be an offside.
Faceoff should actually probably come. I thought maybe that they would move that faceoff all the way down to the other end. The intentional offside there.
Anthony, like how, of course, state the obvious, any goal here will really change momentum, but your closing minutes, these closing stages of this game, even for Wisconsin, they're able to kill this momentum saver, or momentum push, you would say as well.
Yeah, I would agree for sure. I mean, especially, you underestimate how much a good penalty kill can create momentum. Like, for instance, before giving up that goal on the major, Michigan State have been doing a really, really good job on the penalty kill. And if they were able to kill that thing all the way off in the manner that they did, that can create a lot of momentum for a team.
Mueller, and he was trying to find a Spartan in the slot. Got taken away by Wisconsin. They clear it out with 12 seconds left on the power play. So here's Scholl gearing up to get out of the box. He's in there, 2 minutes for roughing. And that one cleared out again. A penalty kill for Wisconsin, their second of the night. Scholl back out there, back at 5-on-5. So maybe just the same, momentum in Wisconsin's favor. Coming in from the defense, Fitzgerald takes a rip. Back to 5-on-5. And got speared up into the air. Fitzgerald again, another crack at it. Scholl looking for it. Wladachuk trying to keep it in. But back to Fitzgerald, neutral zone, forecheck of Michigan State. Now they retreat again. Taken up in the neutral zone, Savage pokes it away.
Another penalty coming up on Wisconsin.
And Scholl not pleased, slapping the stick on the ice. So maybe that momentum promptly negated as Anthony Kerr heads to the box for the second time tonight. So mic's not working for the officials, but there's Anthony Kerr heading to the box for the second time tonight. About consecutive penalties now for Michigan State as Kerr called for the slashing. Be assessed the 2 minutes. Daysane foul, trying to take it on the short man advance, or the short man, down a man. Wisconsin with 4, Michigan State 5, and O'Connell trying to go around left circle, trying to circle back. Basgel, who was running the last power play, now trying to get it with Howard. Same crew, and a clear out. Nice one for Wisconsin.
Some good work there by Daysane foul on that PK. First, a pretty aggressive forecheck up ahead to kind of kill a little bit of time, and then obviously getting the clear right there, finding some space through and getting that puck all the way down.
Trying to get it to Basgel at the point, saved it. Shot coming in. McClellan locating, blocked. Wisconsin short, coming away. Here's Tassi. Tassi shot, and shot plopped up right in front of the crease. Nearly a miss there for Augustine, but saved.
Now, Tassi tried to go 5-hole there, and Augustine closed it up at just the last second. The puck deflected up into the air.
Shot hard off the board coming in from Levshnoff. Levshnoff calling for it at the point. Now it's Howard. Howard fires again, goes far off the board. Stays with Michigan State. Levshnoff Howard again, out taking the shot again, blocked, saved. Joey Larson was taking the rips, and Wisconsin clears it again. Their #1 penalty kill in the conference in full effect, but here a shot ripped, saved by McClellan. Ray Lebster looking for the goal. Has an assist earlier on the second goal for Michigan State. They have 10 seconds left on this power play. Taking another rip was Lebster, and Wisconsin clearing out again. They've killed back-to-back power plays of Michigan State as Anthony Kerr back out of the box. Well, we're talking about momentum for killing one power play. Wisconsin just killed 2.
Plus, they had a really nice chance shorthanded on the second one as well. And Tassi with a great individual play to create that. And now you can kind of hear, it's easier when you're shorthanded and to get some momentum off a penalty kill when you have the home crowd behind you who can kind of create that momentum with their volume and the atmosphere, and you can kind of hear those chants. Crowd is into it now.
Walicki, Finley going in the corner. Whoops, Shouty. Trying to push it in, neutral zone, Finley has it. Mellenbacher trying to sprint free. He shoots in wide right of the net. That right side was a bit open, Anthony.
It was, and that would have all been thanks to William Whitelaw, who got absolutely clobbered back in the defensive zone, but knew the hit was coming, still went and played that puck anyway to create a good chance for Mellenbacher.
Geary trying to prevent Wisconsin from taking into his zone. Wisconsin keeping in front of the blue line. Bantle, Scholl looking for Bantle again. Bantle spinning in right in front of the Michigan State bench. Going down in the corner. Geary trying to retrieve. He's tied up with Horback. Horback loses his stick. Horback up against the boards. He may have sold out a bit more. No call. Wisconsin is getting back on the defense. 3-on-3. In the corner. Dorwart. Blodachuk near side. Has Lucius by him. He just tries to get it forward to, but Nienhaus in front of that for Michigan State. Day-Saint foul with Howard. Howard neutralized. Day-Saint foul. Kicks off to the other side. Far side, Lucius with Leshnoff. Neutral zone with Celia. Celia finds Lucius, skates down into the Michigan State zone, looking for Celia in the slot. Latch in the corner. Leshnoff pushes it forward for Michigan State. Taking it is Reed Lebster. Reed Lebster racing down, trying to get the shot in, scores! May that be the game-winning goal with 7:10 to go. Reed Lebster gives Michigan State the goal advantage.
Well, he was the setup man on the second Michigan State goal, and this time all by himself, racing in and with a great move, cutting out front and just slipping that one underneath the pad of Kyle McClellan. And what a play by Lebster, goal number 6 on the season for him. And could he be the Big Ten championship winning hero? That is the question. 7:10 left. Plenty of time.
Momentum was in Wisconsin's favor, and now a full shift in Michigan State. Lebster's 6th goal of the season, 2nd point of the night, had the assist earlier when Jeremy Davidson cashed it on the one-timer. Lebster's been on those breakaways twice tonight, and he may be the hero for Michigan State if they can hold on, of course. But a crowd silencer. Take a look again at that goal coming in from Lebster. It's looking steady for Michigan State outright if they can hold on. Dexheimer and the Badgers looking to sway that as Tassi looking, and back into the neutral zone, Palatichuk. Poladichuk. Near side. Fitzgerald. Michigan State. Let's Lotch now taken away. He finds Finley off the boards. Finley races down, takes the shot. No, and rebound chance for Wisconsin, but Stramel not at the right place.
Yeah, it feels like he just put his stick on the ice. Maybe he could have gotten a chance redirection at that one, but stick inexplicably above his head and try to cut inside for positioning right there.
Finley pass along the boards and trying to leap over the puck. Scholl got it. Scholl takes the shot. Saved by Augustine.
More pushing and shoving out front, of course. Pretty crazy to think about. You look at the shots on goal that Michigan State is winning this game. Wisconsin having tossed 43 shots onto Trey Augustine. Still just the 2 goals to show for it.
Vorlicki from the blue line. Heads near the point. Pass down low, and the shot close.
Scholl took a beat to think about that one, and that's one that needs to be off your stick right away. That gave Augustine time to get back into position and get himself to be as big as possible to make that save.
Cucciardi throwed it down for Michigan State. Under 5 to go. Howard pass off the boards, trying to get the pass back near the crease. Now going in front. Howard again looking to get it in. Levshnoff, but it gets past him into the neutral zone.
It's a great look for Howard again. Like you mentioned, they found a little pocket of space, and the defense of Wisconsin happened to be right up the gut, right in the heart of the D.
St. Foul takes it into enemy territory. Poladichuk, the other side, Dexheimer. Poladichuk by the point. He skates to the right side. And rebound, no case for Wisconsin. McClellan will leave it for Dexheimer. Wisconsin down into the last efforts with under 4 to go and losing his footing, and that.
The fans think they're going to get a penalty,
it's
but
going to be an offside.
Yeah.
They saw Cilia go down when he crossed that blue line with a few others on the other side. There's Webster. Could he be the hero? Red Savage with Fitzgerald. Basgall. Pass to Geary. Latch. Pass along the boards. Whitelaw. And neutral ice. Michigan State's puck with 3:40 to go. Fitzgerald finds it. Latch retrieves in his own end with trying to pass up to Whitelaw. Stramel tied up with Sturback. Latch to wait and try and navigate this next attack. Scholl going past Shouty. And Wisconsin's Poladichuk. Center ice finds the puck. Around the boards. On the other side, the receiving end, Stramel. Dexheimer. Back down to Finley. Finley. And this looking for Poladichuk. It's going to be Tiernan Shouty. But out now to Finley. Finley going around. Pass behind. Dexheimer losing footing. Poladichuk in front of the crease. They're out. Lucius. 2.5 minutes to go. Michigan State, they can hold on 2.5 minutes from being crowned outright Big Ten champions. Finley racing down, back behind the boards.
McClellan's off, extra attacker on for Wisconsin.
It's a 6-on-5 advantage. Wisconsin near goal. A near goal for Wisconsin. Here on the red line, Wisconsin. Lucius Blodachuk takes a rip, and Augustine covers. Ho-ho, Bantle is getting up. Dexheimer, Blodachuk, McClellan out at net. The 6-on-5 for Wisconsin. Close again. Dexheimer trying to race for it, and here comes Michigan State. This may be the dagger. Jeremy Davidson races in, cashes it in. Michigan State out on top by 2, and may they go down with that.
Another strange one, but that's all that counts in the end is that one goes in. Bantle, I mean, they always say you can't miss wide on the far side like that, and there's a strange bounce off the skates of Blodachuk and then Davidson, and it falls right in front of him, and that is a great bounce for Michigan State, and the dagger shot through the hearts of Wisconsin. An entire regular season's worth of games leading to this moment for both teams, and Michigan State rising to the occasion here tonight.
Jeremy Davidson, his second goal of the night, the first one coming on an assist from his teammate with a goal already, which might be the game winner coming in from Reed Lebster. Davidson getting the pad, the dagger potentially. Wisconsin, of course, will stay without McClellan. That one going all the way down to the other end as Wisconsin will have the face-off 2-2. But the Kohl Center, the fans depart. Their Big Ten hopes, their aspirations fleeting, if not already gone. And the storyline of going from last to first has fleeted in this final period of action.
It sure would seem that way, and Michigan State, all they need to do, hold on for 74 more seconds, get that first Big Ten title, and leave their bitter rival Michigan as the only team in the Big Ten without a regular season title. Pretty crazy to think about, of course, when you consider just how talented Michigan always seems to be year in and year out, but it is Minnesota with 6 regular season titles. Every other team in the Big Ten will have 1 after this game and this series, or this game comes to a close. And Michigan State will leave just Michigan with the 0 next to their name in terms of regular season titles.
See what Wisconsin can get going, but Michigan State, they're feeling high and might. Matt Basgall goes down with Lucius for Wisconsin. Dexheimer in Wisconsin trying to get in some last efforts with 3/4 of a minute to remain. Blodachuk. Pass back. About half a minute to go. We've seen some crazy things before, but that looks to be about done. A shot and off. Iron, no, that's a goal. An open netter, an empty netter again for Michigan State. That is for sure the dagger that will send Wisconsin off and Michigan State. We're waving that. Goal is indeed scoreboard now finally updates on the Jumbotron here.
That's Shouty getting the goal right there for the Spartans. 4th line, 4th goal of the year for Shouty. And 5-2 now the score. 20 seconds left for Michigan State before the celebration is on in East Lansing.
The trophy, of course, in the house with both these teams with the Big Ten Championship on the line. Michigan State will be outright champions. 15.9 to go. It's just a countdown. They're already on the bench. They'll celebrate a bit on the ice, but expect them to celebrate in the locker room post-game with the trophy as that puck goes out of, no, it stays in as it popped up 9 seconds to go for Michigan State as it's in the corner. Time fleeting. Michigan State, for the first time in program history, champions of the Big Ten in the regular season. May the celebration ensue.
Yeah, nobody thought that this Michigan State team could get the job done at the beginning of the year, but there was always a belief in that locker room, in head coach Adam Nightingale and in his team, and what a season for the Spartans.